You've probably heard people throw around the terms dark web and deep web like they mean the same thing. But do they? And more importantly, should you be worried? In today's video, I'm breaking it all down, the real difference between the dark web and the deep web. I'll show you how they work, what's hidden from public view, what's perfectly legal, what's definitely not, and why this matters to you, even if you think you'd never go near them. Stick around till the end. I'll share a true story of someone who stumbled onto the dark web by accident and what happened next. Let's start with the deep web. Imagine the internet as an iceberg. What you see on Google, Bing, or Yahoo, that's just the tip. Beneath the surface lies a much larger portion called the deep web. The deep web includes everything not indexed by search engines. That means anything behind a login or paywall, like your email inbox, your online banking dashboard, academic research databases, hospital records, or private company files. These aren't shady or secret, they're just private and secure. This is where people get confused. The deep web isn't illegal. In fact, you use it every single day. Whenever you log into your Netflix account, check your student portal, or even manage cloud files, you're on the deep web. It's simply content that's hidden for privacy, not for crime. Now let's talk about the dark web. This is where things often get confused. The dark web is actually a small section within the deep web, but it's intentionally hidden and designed for anonymity. You can't just stumble onto it through Google. To access the dark web, you need special software like the Tor browser, which routes your internet traffic through a network of encrypted nodes, making your identity and location almost impossible to trace. Some people use the dark web for completely legal reasons, like journalists communicating securely with sources, political activists avoiding censorship, or whistleblowers exposing corruption. The appeal is anonymity, but it's also home to some very illegal activity. Underground marketplaces selling drugs, stolen data, counterfeit money, weapons, and even hacking services. There are also forums hosting disturbing content that violates serious laws. It's this side of the dark web that gives it a bad name, and for good reason. Law enforcement agencies across the world monitor dark web activity, but the anonymous structure makes it incredibly difficult to trace criminals. That's why understanding the difference between the deep web and the dark web is so important. Not everything hidden is bad, but not everything hidden is safe either. All right, let's make this super clear. The dark web and the deep web are not the same, and understanding their differences will help you stay smart and safe online. First, access. You reach the deep web by logging into secure areas like your email, bank account, or private databases. Just regular password-protected stuff. But to enter the dark web, you need special tools like the Tor browser, which hides your location and activity. Purpose is another key difference. The deep web exists to protect data and privacy. Nothing sketchy there. The dark web, on the other hand, is built around anonymity. That can be good or bad, depending on how it's used. Both are not indexed by search engines, but the deep web makes up over 90% of the internet, while the dark web is just a tiny slice. One is essential for everyday privacy, the other can be a digital back alley. So just because something is hidden doesn't mean it's dangerous. But the intent behind it matters. The deep web protects your information. The dark web protects your identity, and sometimes that can invite risk. Now let's talk legality, because both the deep web and the dark web have very different reputations, and not all of it is fair. Starting with the deep web, it's completely legal. In fact, you use it every day. When you access your medical records, check your cloud storage, log into your work email, or browse your bank account, you're on the deep web. These areas are protected for a reason: your privacy. Now let's shift to the dark web. Believe it or not, the dark web also has legitimate legal uses. Journalists and whistleblowers often use it to share sensitive information safely. Citizens in countries with heavy surveillance or censorship may rely on it to speak freely without fear of being tracked or punished. But, and it's a big but, the dark web is also infamous for illegal activity. We're talking drug trafficking, weapons sales, stolen data, fake IDs, and even horrific services like hiring hitmen. These marketplaces operate in the shadows and are intentionally hidden from law enforcement. Let's be clear, accessing the dark web is not illegal by itself. But what you do there, that's what matters. Get involved in anything illegal, and you're opening yourself up to serious consequences. Let's bring this closer to home with a real-life inspired scenario, one that shows how easily curiosity can lead to consequences. Meet Jake, a curious teenager who heard about the dark web from friends at school. He wasn't looking for anything bad, just wanted to see what's out there. So, he downloads the Tor browser, follows a few links he found online, and lands on a dark marketplace. Without realizing it, Jake clicks into a section labeled Credit Card Dumps, a page showing lists of stolen credit card information. He doesn't buy anything, he doesn't interact, but just visiting that page was enough to trigger monitoring systems. Days later, Jake's parents receive a knock at the door. It's law enforcement, asking questions, checking devices, and warning of potential consequences for accessing illegal content, even unknowingly. The lesson here? Curiosity without caution can turn into a legal nightmare. The dark web isn't a game or mystery box. It's a space where one wrong click could change everything. But let's take this even deeper, because some people assume the dark web is only bad. That's not entirely true. Just like the physical world, digital space isn't black and white. It's a spectrum. Some human rights organizations use the dark web to bypass surveillance in oppressive regimes. Some whistleblower platforms like SecureDrop operate there to protect identities. In countries with limited press freedom, anonymous online expression can literally save lives. Still, the anonymity that enables good also enables harm. Cybercriminals use it to coordinate ransomware attacks, recruit hackers, and even sell malware kits. Dark web forums have been found supporting child exploitation, terrorist networks, and fake news distribution. This is why cybersecurity professionals, ethical hackers, and law enforcement agencies are constantly monitoring the dark web. Not to shut it down entirely, but to contain the threats while respecting the legal use cases that genuinely serve public good. And here's another layer you should know. Not all dark web traffic is human. Some automated systems scrape these spaces to monitor for compromised data. For instance, companies and security firms use AI tools to detect if customer data or employee credentials have been leaked. That's one way the dark web ironically supports cybersecurity. So what should you do with all this information? First, know that awareness is protection. Understanding the difference between the dark web and the deep web isn't just tech trivia, it's digital self-defense. Second, stay cautious. If you're ever tempted to explore the dark web, don't do it casually. It's not a digital haunted house. It's a real place with real consequences. Even if your intentions are harmless, the risks are not. And finally, spread the word. A lot of fear and misinformation fuels panic about the dark web. Instead of leaning into myths, help others understand the truth. Share what you've learned. So let's wrap this up. The deep web is simply the part of the internet that's hidden behind logins. Your email, banking info, medical records. It's private, protected, and essential. The dark web, however, is a much smaller part of the deep web that's hidden on purpose, often for anonymity, but also for risky and illegal activity. Remember, the deep web is where your private life lives. The dark web is where you lose that privacy. If you're thinking of exploring the dark web, be warned. Know what you're walking into. Better yet, don't go without a good reason. Like this video if you learned something new, subscribe for more tips on internet safety, and as always, stay safe online.